Hey, good morning, everybody. Here we are, Philippians chapter 2, today verse 6. So yesterday, verse 5. All of this together in chapter 2 is what's known as a Christ hymn or a confession of faith of the early church. They would have maybe read this together or sung it together. It may not seem like it sings well, but that's because they didn't sing in English, right? That's funny if you're wondering why it didn't sing well. Anyway, verse 6 today, what I want you to really think about today is that Jesus was in the very form of God. And the reason I want you to think about that is because everything that's going to follow tomorrow about Jesus is up here in glory with God the Father. He's fully God. As he steps down, those steps down from glory, they really mean something because Jesus is really co-equal with God the Father and God the Spirit, and that he leaves that for us is huge. Here's verse 6. I'm going to read it in verse 5 and 6 together so you get the flow. Have this mind among yourselves, which is yours in Christ Jesus, who, though he was in the form of God, did not count equality with God a thing to be grasped or held on to. So here's what I'm going to focus on. Jesus was in the very form of God, right? Jesus in the form of God. The word form is a philosophical word, and it doesn't have to do with the physical, like this table has a circular form. That's not what Paul's talking about. It's philosophical. One Greek scholar, he says, this has no reference to shape or physical appearance of the object. Instead, it is the perfect expression of the perfect being. If you remember, like last week, we talked about unity was kind of the essence of service to one another, but service was that expression. It's in real life, what does unity and love for each other look like? Well, it looks like putting others first, right? That's what we see. So Jesus as the form of God, it's that expression of God. It's if you wanted to shake hands with God, you'd be shaking hands with Jesus. People look in the Old Testament and they say, Moses, when he communed with God on the mountain, maybe that's a pre-incarnate Christ. Other places also in the Old Testament, the burning bush, pre-incarnate Christ speaking to Moses. It's Christ before he's born, but we commune with God through the man Jesus Christ. A couple of questions. Think about. What are some attributes of Jesus that we typically only apply to God? When we think about God, what attributes of Christ make him God-like that we don't possess? Second, why is it important for us to see Jesus as co-equal with God, same essence of God, but expression of God as Jesus Christ, the man?